Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Parent Pod, brought to you by Cape Cod Moms, live on Facebook and Instagram every Thursday night at 8. Every week, this hour is for you, so I hope you have the kids secured someplace. Mine are down in the basement playroom, playing karaoke and having a cereal party, whatever it takes. As long as we get 1 hour of uninterrupted stuff, we're here to bring you education, resources, and some fun. And tonight, I'm so excited because we have a fun episode in store for you. We have local mom and author, Alexandra Speck. And she's both the author of a book called The Honor Girl and an upcoming book as well. She's going to tell us a little bit about. And she's also a blog owner of Not Your Morning Mom. She is hilarious. If you haven't heard her stuff before, you're going to hear some of it tonight. And I hope you guys then tune in and follow her blog because it is definitely worth listening to. We're also going to give away some prizes, so you can submit a question if you didn't ahead of time for Alex. You can submit it live. We'll show it, and she will take your questions. We're going to be talking about all kinds of fun parenting stories, fun toys for kids. We're going to be doing a doozy tonight about a new Barbie toy that Alex is really thrilled to have in her house. And tonight you'll get to win, if you submit a question, you'll have a chance to win a gift card to the 1856 Country Store here on Cape Cod. Not your grandmother's country store. They are around, they don't just have penny candy, they have everything. So we're going to bring Alex on right now and introduce her. So get ready. Remember, this hour's for you. Also, we may be doing a kindness giveaway if we got time. If not, we'll do 2 next week. So here we go. We got Alex coming on in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Welcome, Alex. How are you?
Hi, Amy. I'm good. Thanks for having me. Hi,
So
everyone.
nice to see you. I'm so glad you could join us.
Yeah.
So Alex, just a little background for everybody. Alex and I, we've known each other for a couple of years. The kids are in school together. And also she is very active within the community. And at one point was working and was a huge asset for the Community Health Center of Cape Cod over in Mashpee as one of their, she helped get foundation and donors and doing the events. And you were such a fabulous asset there. Oh, and whatever's up next on the horizon, you're going to be an asset for. So can you just introduce yourself to everybody who may not know you and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name's Alexandra Speck, and I'm called Alex. Thanks to my 3rd grade teacher who thought my name was too long and changed it to Alex. My mom was pissed and wanted it to be Alexa, but it wasn't. Anyway, I have lived on the Cape since 2006, and prior to that, I was mostly in New York City and Boston, and I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, in a suburb called Shaker Heights. So I did just work as a fundraiser at Community Health Center of Cape Cod, and I did that for a number of years. And prior to that, I worked for Cohorts Center for the Arts, but the pandemic hit. We had to homeschool, and I ended up leaving my job to focus full-time on my writing career. So that's what I'm focusing on right now, which is the blog, morningmom.org, which is a great platform for my book. And I just enjoy writing daily, so I love the blog medium, actually, as a way to express myself and write. And then I'm working on this second novel, and it's about 3 women who are living on Cape Cod. And this player dude comes back to town, one of their former boyfriends, and he plays all 3 of them. And there's like a whole spiraling that goes on in their marriages and their friendships and an implosion and lots of references to local places. So, and then you'll see what happens.
Oh, that actually sounds like that might have to be a read that I'm reading when I'm not with the kids that I can really get into. I like that.
There are some saucy scenes, I'm not going to lie. There's a couple racy scenes in there that you might want to dog ear for private time.
Well, we like saucy scenes because that's the only time we're getting any type of sauciness anymore after the COVID pandemic, right? I mean, who has time for anything else? So saucy scenes that
just
we can read
wear a mask, be safe.
That's right. When you're reading the saucy scenes, make sure your mask is on too. Okay, you don't want to catch anything.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about. So you got the kids and everything like that. Let's talk a little bit about the blog.
Okay. So the blog is called morningmom.org, and I called it that, I guess. Well, there's only so many domain lanes left, so let's be honest. However, I did choose that because it's kind of like every day it's like morning mom, and you're like, ugh, I can't believe I have to do this again, and it's like Groundhog Day over and over again. Not necessarily as much anymore, although COVID has brought that back now that my kids are a little older. But it's just kind of, it has a parenting focus. It also has a focus, just of, a human element, emotion, like what we go through every day, just as people. Um, and yeah, so some of it's funny stories. Some of it's like what's going on in my life. Because, blog really, I don't think is really, people can't really get into it if it's not personal. So some of it's like personal stories about myself and my day, and other, yeah. So it's great. I love it.
So
It's fun.
before because I kind of want to share some of the things I've seen on your blog before and some of the stories. But before we do that, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, right now I have a Gruner Veltliner, a Loimer. It's called Loimer. Because I'm quite the sommelier. And yeah, I got it a windfall today. I thought I'd like try something new,
I
Yeah.
like that.
I
See,
know. What are
you
you
know what?
having?
I'm much more basic. I made homemade White Claw tonight, cherry White Claw with bubbly water and cherry vodka.
Night. Wait, did you actually make it homemade?
Yeah. You just pour the shot in and then you pour the cherry bubbly water. Or
Oh,
two
wait,
shots.
that's amazing. Okay. Hmm.
And you got to get those nips in, before they're gone, now that they're gone.
Yeah. Well, cheers,
I guess I'll
everyone.
just have
I
to
hope
buy the
everybody
bigger
else
bottle.
is toasting with us. You know who is toasting with us, who's in our blog, is
Ooh.
pregnant Barbie. She's not supposed to drink, though. So if anybody is curious about this toy, this is one of the toys we were talking about. So this doll, I got her at Marshall's, and like I was kind of fired up because I'm like, I have never seen a Prager's Barbie. Check this out. So she has a tummy, and this is the best part about it. It circles off, and there's a little baby inside. He's very tiny and gross. And then look, oh my God, where?
I'm skinny again.
I'm so skinny. I don't even have to exercise. I'm gonna get pregnant again because I'm so pretty.
Wait a minute. Where is the extra skin, the food? Where is all that? That's missing.
There's none of that. Her stomach does turn inside out, so she's even like concave. It's pretty cool.
She must have a good plastic surgeon.
She must. Anyway, so I really enjoy her and this little tiny baby. Like, honestly, I wish I could have birthed this instead of a real baby because it might have been easier. Just saying.
We would have had 10 kids if it wasn't painful, Like,
I know, exactly.
And if they could just stay that little,
I know.
pop them back in their container when we're done. That would be great.
So yeah, I had one blog that talked about, playing Barbies and stuff like that. And then I have other blogs, like I had one today that was about, waking up with your daily sort of like shame cycle and regret and like what it is to basically like overanalyze yourself and how to deal with that and welcome unwelcome emotions. So it runs the gamut of topics.
You really talk a lot in your blogs. You're very honest and you take this humorous approach to it, but it is very honest. And like you just mentioned having those regrets and in that blog you kind of talk about eating all those calories yesterday. And that's something we all relate to, right? I mean, yeah. I did the same thing today. I was emotional eating and I had to have an order of the cheesy breadsticks from Papa Gino.
You gotta love those.
And then you have this regret, and we're so hard on ourselves all the time. And so I kind of appreciate your take on it because you insert a little humor, and it's like, it's no judgment. It's like, listen, there's someone else out here that this is going on with, and you're not alone. I mean,
well, that's kind of the purpose of it too. I find is that, especially with social media now and the whole social effect, everybody is, putting forward their best foot and, great images and talking, about how great their lives are. And I think the truth is we all, we have great moments. We also have not great moments. And I like to sort of put those out there, perhaps sometimes to my dismay by oversharing, as I mentioned in the blog. But just because it's relatable and people are like, yeah, actually, I'm kind of struggling too. Or, I hate myself like 4 out of 7 days a week sometimes also, and I think that's what makes it relatable. And that's why people actually read is because it resonates with them and their own experiences.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you, because I think the more that people think and know that others are going through the same type of thing, I think the more comfortable we will all begin to be with talking about it, because it shouldn't be like you say, we put out this one side on social media.
Yeah.
And that's just an image that you're creating, right? So what reality is often we don't want to share or go public with, or only our close friends know. And we need more people to be honest, because we're all going through it. We all have those days, whether it's with ourselves, with our kids, whether it's not liking our significant other at that particular day. And especially after COVID, I mean, 6 months, Alex.
Yeah.
It's ending Monday.
I know, the kids have been home for so long. Oh my God. I was like the worst homeschool teacher. Like, first of all, I was working full time, 40 hours a week. And then the kids would be like right at the table with me, asking me questions like, how do you spell memorial for Memorial Day? And I'd be typing and I'd be like, ask Siri, like totally belligerent, hostile, the angriest. And so much so that like Caroline, my daughter, has now said, I was like, do you want to do remote learning again, honey? Or do you want mommy to teach you? And she's like, I will wear a mask for 10 hours if I can go to school. And I'm not sure if I should take that personally or if it's just she misses her friends. But I think it's probably a combination.
Well, it was really hard to, I understand. I was getting up at 4:00 in the morning. I've changed my whole routine, which now I don't appreciate, because I'm still up at 4:00 in the morning.
Mommy.
And and I still get bugged by the kids at all hours, even right now. Yes.
Look at Ava wrote my name on my
Oh, go ahead. Go sleep again.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 months, ends Monday. But yeah, it was
But it
hard.
doesn't end Monday because it's remote schooling. It doesn't end till, like, honestly, for Massachusetts, it ends October 13th is their first full day.
But at least they have a little bit of structure for that first week.
That's true. But like, we still have to be here if they're young enough to help like facilitate. It's not like they can like figure out their Chromebook by themselves,
You know what I wanted to write on that parent survey? I wanted to be like, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to lay in bed and watch TV.
Yeah, like, is that an option?
Yeah, where's option Z for do nothing?
How about not participating? I am, though, you're right. I'm looking forward to just some kind of back to school feeling, because summer has been very long. And, it's been good in a lot of ways. And I think COVID's been nice because we've all spent a lot of time with our families and our kids that we wouldn't have otherwise. So in that sense, it's like brought everybody closer to their families. So that's sort of like the silver lining on this whole thing. But overall, I mean, I think it's been really strenuous, particularly for working parents. And also ones who are staying at home, and marriages. I'm sure, like, I heard, domestic violence is up and the divorce rate. Like, everybody's forced to confront, like, their issues all in the same house. So I think, it's not.
I want a vacation by myself. Like, so you remember how you drove? I was handing out yearbooks, right, the other day at North Falmouth, right? And do you know, it was so funny because I was so happy to be sitting out there for 4 hours alone. No children.
Right.
The principal came out. He's like, oh, are you okay? Do you need anybody to sit down? Nope, I'm good. I've got my music in my ear, and occasionally I say hi to a parent and give them the yearbook. It was bliss, because it was like, this is like a vacation right now.
It's stolen moments. That's what it's about. Yeah. Like a walk or like a shower where they don't come in. Things like that,
Have you noticed too, the kids regressed a little bit? It's almost like they want to crawl back in.
Yes, like want to play all the time. And like, first of all, I have two, so I'm kind of like, I had two of you so you can play together. Like, I'm not included in this like little bunch of the playgroup, but my son has basically moved into the basement like a sand mole, and has like, he basically is just like on, unfortunately, like Fortnite and Minecraft and all that with his friends. And I feel like he's being social because he's got the headset on and he's talking with them. So I'm like, all right, it's not totally bad. But
I like how you have them in the basement, by the way, because I gave Ethan the Fortnite thing, and I had to take away the headphone, the mic, because it was driving me nuts.
Oh yeah, no, they have to be in the basement.
I'm like, what is this nonsense?
Well, there was like screaming about something too. I'm like, what is so compelling?
go this
Yeah.
way, go this way. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh, Christina just asked, she said she wants to know, what is the best thing that has come out of the pandemic for you, and funniest or most embarrassing kid-related moment during this time?
Oh my God. All right. The best thing that's come out of the pandemic for me, I would say, is quitting my job and making the time to actually to write, you know, because I haven't made that time for myself. It was always sort of a secondary thing. So now I'm really forced to just like write during the day because I'm never like one to just laze around. So I can't just sit here. So I've definitely been more focused. And also, I did meet my boyfriend during the pandemic from Cleveland, and we reconnected and like on FaceTime and all that. And then since then, I visited like 5 times, and he's been here like a lot this summer and been able to work remotely because of COVID. So that's been fun. So yeah, I've actually kind of had a really good time during COVID. Like I'm actually COVID thriving. Like not gonna lie. Okay, the funniest and our most embarrassing kid related moment. God, I don't know. I have to think about that.
We can come back to that one.
Yeah, I might have to come back. But thank you, Chrissy Timberger. Love you.
Christina, oh, LT Slater says, go Lalix. And then it says, Alex, do you have a boyfriend?
So that's
But
my
you
boyfriend.
don't,
He's obviously watching. Thank you for tuning in, LT Slater.
Oh, that's so cute. I like that. I like seeing the support. That's
We
amazing.
call ourselves Lalix because it's like LT and Alex, Lalix, you know, like a
Oh,
celeb
I
couple.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You guys are so cute. You have a hashtag now.
We totes have a hashtag, and I had to bring him up, you know, because, yeah. But, yay.
So we haven't really talked about the book yet, and we could talk about it a little bit as we go. But Jacqueline actually submitted a question. She goes, when is your next book coming out, and are you working on one in COVID quarantine?
Yes. Thank you, Jacqueline. So yeah, I'm actually about on page 300 of this second book. I'm in the last scene that takes place actually at a summer swing gala at the Woods Hole Golf Club. And they've all confronted this horrible player, and then he gets into like, well, I'm not going to tell you. Although you're reading the prologue, it starts with him getting into a car accident on 151. Totally racy. But yeah, so I have been working on that. I actually work with an editor, and she's also a writer, and we exchange pages every 2 weeks. We exchange about 10 pages. We read each other's pages, so you have another set of eyes on them. And that holds me accountable to get the book moving forward, because otherwise I might like not get it done. And you know, she's going to pass it along to her agency, and so I have a good chance of getting it published. So I'm really excited about it. And it should be done, and I'll try and get it published. It'll probably be finished in the next 2 months, and then I'll try and get it published, and hopefully it'll be on bookshelves at 8 Cousins and yeah, all those amazing bookstores.
I'm excited, but I have a question. Is the accident on 151 at either of the notorious little intersections? I have to know.
Oh my God,
I know a different spot.
They're trying to get a rotary there or more lights. You know, I didn't specify, but maybe I should. Good editorial note.
Yeah.
We're not clear. We think it's probably drinking related.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, but he doesn't hurt anybody, so that's good. Just himself.
Okay, good.
But then it just adds to him being a social pariah. We all know those. You will pay.
I'm getting excited to read this book.
It's good.
Which actually goes along with, let's see right here, some question submitted in advance for you from Karen. Not Karen. I'm sorry. From Megan.
Yeah.
Right here. Will there ever be a sequel to Honor Girl? So this isn't really a sequel. This is just the next book.
Yeah.
A different.
Right. Thank you, Megan, for asking. It's not a sequel. It's a next book. And what's similar to Honor Girl is I wanted to, like sort of one of my favorite authors, Elin Hildebrand, who, has all the references to Nantucket and sort of transports you as a reader to Nantucket. You feel like you're there when you're reading it. I did that in Honor Girl with, like, say, Woods Hole and Falmouth. And in this book, I continue to have it in Falmouth, but it's also branching out into, like, Osterville. And like, there's a scene at Oyster Harbors, and there's a scene at the chart room of Katamet, and also the one in Osterville, and some more places in Hyannis. I sort of broadened it. But this one really is about 3 different women told from 3 different women's perspectives and what's going on in their marriages that make them then interested in having this sort of affair. And they're 3 very disparate characters. So it's an interesting read, but I think, it's really relatable. I think everyone will really like it.
I'm excited. We're going to have you back on to a reading with it.
I don't have a title for it. I'm going to call it, like, The Lobster Trap, or, like, Summer Salts. I don't know. I can't think of a title. So maybe somebody can tell me, think of a title.
If you've got an idea for a title, comment in the comments. She wants to hear your ideas and suggestions.
Totally need a title, guys.
Gina Weber wants to know, what is your best or go-to parenting tip / advice?
Oh, okay. I think, honestly, and this sounds so, like, saccharine sweet, but, like, spend quality time with each of your children and separately. And it makes them feel, like, really special. It makes you have a good relationship with them and makes them almost behave better towards you. Like, for example, I do play Barbies with my daughter because I'm really good at Barbies. Like, I'm not going to lie, like, plot points and stuff are pretty good. But I play with her, honestly, like, 5 days or 6 days a week for a good hour. And I know that's kind of a lot, but I mean, we have a really good relationship because of that. And I think, that kind of makes her then be able to do her own thing later on. So I can get time to do my own stuff because she's felt like she had quality time with me as opposed to scattered time. And similar with James, like, we go frogging, and bang out walking the dogs at the same time once a day for, like, an hour. Or, like, I took him to a special lunch at the Clam Shack. He likes alone time. I don't know. I feel like that's a good parenting tip. I mean, otherwise, just use Siri. Just ask her, like, hey Siri, what's a rhombus? If you need help with the teaching, or just put him in front of the iPad. That's a great parent. No, I don't know. Yeah, just give yourself a break too, though. Everybody needs a break. And I will say,
that's important.
I think, like, so I'm actually a single parent. And I will say it's been really hard being the only adult here. But the good thing is sometimes I do get a break because they'll go with, like, their dad, for example. But if you have a spouse there, make sure that you get time to, like, for yourself as well, because you'll just be a better parent after a break. If you're exasperated.
100%. You need a break. I remember a couple of years ago, do you remember when that study came out that they said parents, but moms especially, and I'm going to find this study so I can reshare it again, but moms especially, studies show that they should have at least one major vacation a year with no children.
Yeah.
And they actually have shown that the family turns out to be healthier because mom gets that break.
Totally.
And moms often are the multitaskers. And if they get that break, they're healthier for the family. They come back refreshed. They have that break. And the family overall is happier. I need to send that link again to my husband and once, and to whoever's leading this COVID pandemic, because moms need a break. A butler in the Bahamas might be nice,
Some kind of resort in Quebec. Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely think, even if you have time to, like, go on a girls' night or, like, sit in the backyard with a girlfriend with, like, a glass of wine or whatever, a soda water while watching the kids, or go for a walk with someone, it just refreshes you and revitalizes you and makes you a better, more patient parent, let's say.
Megan followed up earlier with Ellen is one of my favorite authors too, and she wanted to let you know your book sounds so good and she cannot wait to read it.
Thank you, Megan. I know.
I'm telling you, we should
really
set
like
up a special reading.
What?
We'll have to set up a special reading with you and people to tune in for a quick intro.
Okay.
Cocktails,
I'll definitely read some pages.
Cocktails and books with Alex. I like
Ooh,
it.
I like it.
Julie Weldon wants to know, are you an Indians fan or a Red Sox fan? I was born in Cleveland too.
Oh, cool. Avon Lake. Okay, I don't know Avon Lake, but all right. Well, I feel like I've been in Massachusetts like longer now as an adult watching the game, so maybe I'm a Red Sox fan. However, I am an Indians fan because the first Indians game I went to was after my senior prom with my boyfriend, and it was so special that I will never forget the Indians. But yeah, and I love Cleveland so much.
That must have been quite a night.
I know, it was pretty racy. Yeah, no, I was like honestly so heinous in high school, you guys, and I was wearing like this like neutered puritanical dress, and I was like super. I should have worked at Hearth and Kettle, like honestly, at the prom. Like that's what my dress was like. But anyway, yeah, well, I like both of them, but that's not a good answer. But probably more a Red Sox fan. Sorry, Tri.
Yeah, got to be a hometown girl now.
Yeah.
LT Slater wants to know, question for Alex. Jimmy wants to know if you think the Browns will win tonight. We've got $400 on the game. I don't know, LT.
So they're all at the Browns game right now. LT and Jimmy and like 8 other guys are in this sort of like private room. I think the Browns are gonna win. I do. I have a good feeling about this. You know, I'm not watching the game right now, but I know the Browns are gonna make a comeback. It's time. Go
It's
Browns!
their year. It's their year, right?
It totally is. Now that like the poor Pats, I feel bad for us, but hopefully we'll thrive without Tom Brady and.
You can't feel that bad for us. We did better than Tom Brady did last week. Are you kidding me?
No, that's true. I know. Although
I like all the memes. His face was like.
Well, I'm voting for the Browns. So Jimmy, I hope you get your $400.
Oh, Jimmy, you have to share it with Alex if you win the $400.
Yeah.
All right, you have to share it with Alex. And I'm actually honored that they're tuning in, watching us while they're watching the game. I'm like really impressed by that.
While at the stadium in Cleveland, this broadcast is going wide and far.
Karen Halen wants to know, what do you think a grandparent can do during these times to help out, even if they can't watch the kids due to being compromised? How else can they help out and interact with their family members or their grandkids?
Oh, okay. Honestly, like something simple you can do are like Facetime check-ins. Because if you're worried about being around the kids, especially if they've been out and about doing things, calling and spending like a half hour talking to the grandkids and connecting with them. And I just read something in a magazine that said that even a physical gesture, like a high five, apparently on a FaceTime, excites people's neurons and gives like a dopamine release in a way that actually interacting in person does. So I don't know, maybe play a cat clapping game together with your kid, or I think so that would be a virtual way. I mean, if you can go and spend any time, even 6 feet apart in the backyard and hang out, or maybe give your daughter or son a break so that they could do something else, and you could watch the kids for a little bit, that would be terrific. But yeah, just I think being present, even like sending a care package or some cute little toys in a care package or a note. That means a lot to kids, just feeling like you're paying attention and you're around, and they'll have something else to play with, which will get the kids out of the parents' grills, so that's helpful.
Yeah, I like those ideas. Like they could read a story, read a bedtime story 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
Maybe do a craft virtually. You bring up a good point, because the dopamine response from the body language, that's a huge thing, because human communication is actually mostly nonverbal. It's body language, it's tone, it's facial expressions. And so I can see why, the virtual high five or the virtual interaction, you could still get some type of dopamine response from that.
Yeah, exactly. It feels more intimate, I guess.
Absolutely. Phoebe says, "Moms rock, honest and helpful Alex." I love it.
That's actually my mom. Thanks, Mom.
Oh,
She actually
thanks,
has
Mom,
been really
for
helpful
tuning in.
during
That's
COVID.
nice. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, wee wee. Hi, Louise. You're the best.
I'm so glad we're tuning in. So yeah, no, this is really good. These are some great ideas that people can do, and like you said, even if you can practice social distancing, if you're compromised, maybe you could be at a field and you can kick the ball back and forth and still be distant, but interacting with them.
Yeah.
I have noticed. So we went on vacation, right, to Stowe, Vermont for a week, and we're down roasting s'mores one night at the fire pit, and Ethan, and I've noticed this with other kids, but this is the first time I noticed it with Ethan. It was like he went up and he started talking to two random families for an hour. And I'm sitting at the table, like 2 tables over, and I'm just like, okay. And he just kept talking and talking, and he just wanted to have a conversation with somebody who wasn't me. And I noticed my daughter, every week after I get off these lives, she has to come over and talk to my kid. Well, who's this? I want to talk to them and ask them all kinds of questions.
Like, were they happy to talk to him, or were they kind of
like, they were like, he's having this whole, he's like, let me tell you about Turks and Caicos, and let me tell you about my school, and blah, 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 blah. And, oh, what about this about football? And have you ever gone fishing and caught this? And,
really?
And then but he was articulate and they were engaged. But it was like, I've started to notice it. I went to my friend's house to drop off a yearbook for her daughter yesterday. And she was just like, gab, gab, gab to me. And it was like someone new that I can talk to that's not in my immediate circle that I've been part of.
Exactly.
That I can kind of get attention from.
I think people are sort of like starved for, friends and being with new people. I mean, I will say in our neighborhood here, I live in a neighborhood called North Hill in North Falmouth, and we've sort of there's been like four girls, that have stayed together the whole time kind of during COVID, with the exception of sometimes if somebody's gone away, they'll quarantine for a little bit, but we all sort of play together. And we have this thing, one of my blogs is called is about Camp Alex. And that is, I have their kids, like, let's say, come to my house, and they'll rotate at the other mom's house. They're participating as well. But, you send all 4 girls down and they'll stay here literally from like, 9:30 to 3, they'll pack a lunch, they eat outside, and we do activities and jump on the trampoline, and I spray them in the baby pool with the hose, which my daughter thinks is a little ghetto. She's like, Mom, can we get a pool? And I'm like, no, the hose is fine. You gotta love the hose.
Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah, so, I think that's been great too. Like, and I've thought about that. I know a lot of people, if they're uncomfortable sending their kids back to school, are kind of doing that like pod learning with families that they're comfortable with. So some people are doing that. But I think that that's been a nice way to like keep kids interacting. If you can have a few go-to people that are like on the same page as you, that you're comfortable having your kids around, that's been really nice for us.
And what's good about that is eventually what it starts to happen over a period of a couple of weeks is they become acclimated to each other. So then you become part of that same circle. So you don't, you're all in that group together, like you said. So it kind of lessens their risk overall because they're still getting exposed to one another for other things.
Right.
But you're keeping that circle close and small, but they're still getting that time.
Yeah. And we are as parents too, because you see the parents, you see their mom or dad or whomever, the caregiver, and it's nice for you to be able to pick up or whatever, to like chat, 6 feet apart or whatever in the backyard and hang out and just sort of like commiserate about the woes of homeschooling, let's say, or trying to go to the beach when you realize like there's 50 million teenagers at Old Silver next to each other, like lubed up with a boombox, and you're like, what's happening? I thought there was COVID. and lamenting the fact that you don't have your own pool or private beach. Okay. I did hear from my realtor friends though that that's like the number one thing people want now during COVID is like a pool because everybody's just kind of like stuck at their houses. Like you're not going to the beach.
Yeah, pools are the big seller, and then RVs.
Yeah,
another big one.
I'm psyched for that Airstream park in Falmouth. Is anyone going to go?
I want to. I've been trying to hit them up and be like, oh, can we come and live stream from there and maybe spend
Let's
it?
stream from there.
Let's do it. I'll reach out. I'll be like, Alex and I are coming. We'll live stream all night.
Then they'll definitely like let us in, I'm sure, once they hear that. Although I heard it's like $460 a night, which I mean, it's not rotten per se, but like, I don't know, to stay in a camper.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little.
We might have to talk to them about that.
Yeah,
we might have to know who we are, maybe.
I am excited for you guys, though. I'm not poo-pooing the prices because I know hotel room's expensive too, and it's actually like a nice hotel with a kitchen. So maybe I'm wrong.
So you mentioned your Camp Alex thing, and one of your blogs you had talked about Camp Alex and cohorts, and the whole cohort thing of cohort A and B. And
right.
Let's talk a little bit about that because that was a really funny.
Right, how we'll have like scattered drop-offs, and then the A group will come at the time.
It's just like it's a lot. It's a lot of information. And by the way, I have to bring up. So we're part of the Catholic formation group here in town, and so the kids go to CCD, and I appreciate the fact that they're trying to adapt with the religious education in town, and they're trying to get with the virtual world, and they've given us this option. But I almost fell over the other day during the meeting because I was like, wait a minute. So I have to attend church in person or virtually every week, and then we have to write a journal and email it in every week. And I was like, I actually emailed the person organizing. I was like, okay, I need to do this like monthly or quarterly. I cannot do every week. There's way too there's too many things going on with all the school stuff. How am I supposed to manage that too? And so it's overwhelming. And I think I even commented on your blog. I'm like, what about cohort, like whatever for moms, like having a couple drinks and
it's totally, I mean, it's really confusing. And then, all that stuff. And also I feel like those things with like you're saying with the religious education where you have to do the journal, some of this stuff has become like work for the parents. Like I remember, I mean, I'll be honest, like the gym component, like you had to go fill out the Google form of like what your kid did and like how they did it. Did they do it well? I was like, I would just sort of make it up. And I'd be like, yeah, he did 8 push-ups. And they'd be like, we loved this aspect of it, strength training. But like, it was work I was doing. I had homework, you know? And even in the music, you had to take a video of them playing the recorder or singing, like, so you had to hold the camera. Like, they couldn't do anything alone. So it was definitely a lot of work for the parents. But yeah.
That's how I felt a lot of the time. I was like, wait a minute, I already went through elementary school. I got a diploma, I got a degree, I got 2 degrees.
How about we had to make the robot for library science? First of all, one time I'm like, what do I have here? I'm not even kidding. I had like a Magnum bottle of wine with like 2 arm bottles that were like smaller wine bottles. And then I was like, should I do this? And I was like, that's kind of rotten. Like, maybe that might be like set up some alarms if Caroline chose that as her robot.
Scrape the label off.
They wanted it from recycled materials. I was like, girl, that's what's in my bin. So...
If they do that again, I'm going to make it all out of White Claw cans.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the cohorts and all that, I hope it goes well, but it is sort of confusing. And it's kind of sad. Like if you're in cohort A, your friends in cohort B, you'll miss each other at recess and at school. And then so, you know, my daughter's lamenting about that like she doesn't have the same teacher as somebody in cohort A, and they're also in cohort B or whatever, so they're never going to see each other.
Oh,
I know. It's going to
be a hard year. It's going to be a hard year.
But they're not. How long are they doing the cohorts for?
Only those first 2 weeks that I know of.
Yeah. And then we're just going to see if everyone gets sick, and if they don't, we're just going to send them all back full throttle.
Yeah. So what the from my understanding is that if there is an outbreak or something, they can quickly close down sections. It might be a class. It might be 2 classes if there's a cohort that's intermixing, because there are some cohorts where the teachers swap. between
Yeah.
classes.
It'll be
It
better
could
for
be a bus. It could be multiple classrooms because it stems from a bus, you know? So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. What's
and a lot of
promising?
emails. Like, how many emails have you gotten? You guys, is everybody reading these emails? Like
So many.
the one, I mean, I appreciate the effort, and I know like it's been so hard for the teachers. So this is no way like making them feel bad because I'm so grateful for them. I'm just saying there's so many emails that like, I don't know. I find myself sort of glazing over and like trying to get to the point of it, but then like getting overwhelmed with it and like I'm going to come back to it. And I don't know. I feel a little bit spacey about the whole thing. I'm just going to kind of like fly by the seat of my pants.
Well, isn't that like the story of being a mom? Like, I'll get texts, I'll get emails. I'm like, okay, I got to come back to that later. And then I'll come back to it. It's like those schools. I was glad that the school sent out, by the way, today, if you missed all the other videos, because I'd forgotten to go back there, like, here's the link to the playlist. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Now I can go watch them all in a row.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But it is. It's a large undertaking. It is definitely going to look different. You know, I think honestly, the kids sitting apart is going to be, I know a lot of people may feel differently about this, but I think the kids sitting apart is actually going to be good. I went to school like that. So because I was at Catholic school. So I mean, 3rd through 9th grade for me was like that. And my sister was there even younger. I don't think kindergarten was like that.
But your desks were 6 feet apart?
Well, we were probably in rows, probably about 3 to 4 feet apart.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously there was no cheating. You know, you couldn't cheat back then. But
or you do this around your paper.
You're like, like this.
Yeah. No, I didn't cheat. I would have to like hover over mine so people wouldn't look at mine because that was very studious.
And honestly, I worked more efficiently. I'm hoping that one of the teachers I spoke with, she's like, well, actually now we can, you know, let's work, let's focus, let's get it done, let's get outside and get a break. Let's work, let's get it done, let's get outside and get a break. So I'm hoping that will help, maybe especially with kids that might have some attention problems and get easily distracted. Now they're in their own island and maybe it'll be easier to kind of focus down.
Yeah.
Megan says she's still waiting to find out her kindergartner's remote teacher and school starts Monday. Megan, I know you're in the same district as us. I am.
Wait, the remote teachers are different?
So K through 2 in the district for at least Falmouth have a dedicated remote teacher.
Oh, okay.
But in the older grades, if they're remote, they're with their teacher so they can easily transition back in. But even the dedicated remote teacher for the little ones, they will be on the same page and they'll be up to speed. They have a spot in a classroom when they return.
Right. Okay. And that's frustrating. You must be like wanting to figure that out. But, you know, I guess, well, so maybe you'll find out tomorrow because it's Friday, right? School starts Monday.
I think you're going to get all this stuff tomorrow. And if you haven't yet, I would reach out to the principal and just say, I just need a little bit of clarity. I know things are crazy and I don't want to add more to your plate. I just want to make sure I'm ready for Monday. I have faith. I think we're going to get through it. I do. I watch what's happening in other places and it's promising. I know Denmark is a little different than the United States, obviously, but it's promising that they had really strict, similar stuff to what we're doing now when they went back in May. And so they've been outside a lot. They really, I mean, and of course, it's a different culture. They're used to that type of style of school. And as a result, they are now, the majority of them are back without masks, without social distancing, and there was no bump in the cases. But again, they got acclimated to each other. They're in these zones now, these pods, and they're used to the routine, and they're still outside. But it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and like we need one more thing to worry about with parenting.
I wonder, like, I remember in February, and I don't know about if everyone from Falmouth is watching this or Cape Cod specifically, because it's Cape Cod moms. But remember, like, everybody had that, like, horrible flu in February, particularly. Like, was that COVID? Like, I don't know. I feel like I already had it then. And I don't, it was
I remember
awful. Like
The kids-
everybody had it at NFE at Northampton Elementary, and it was
I
like a
remember that.
death virus. And I had the flu shot last year, but like, and I don't, knock on wood, get like sick regularly. And I was like gonna die for like 4 days. Like I almost went to the ER because I had like
There were
all
a
those
lot
symptoms.
at that school that were sick. And I remember even my kids, they came home on a Friday and they slept through to Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was like, they had low-grade fevers, but that's how you know a kid's sick. They sleep the whole time.
Yeah.
And they didn't get, and I was like, but low-grade fevers, no other symptoms, a little bit of like redness behind the eyes. And I just chalked it up to, you know how the
The
pediatricians
flu.
are,
Who knew about COVID?
oh, and it's just a random virus. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Who knows what virus
Well,
it
that's
is?
what I'm worried about with them going back now is like when they do get the flu, anybody who gets a fever, we're going to be like, they have COVID, but it could just be like a fever that they traditionally get starting in like when the weather gets colder, you know? So are we just going to shut school down when somebody has a fever? Like, I don't know. It's going to be dicey for sure.
It's definitely going to be draconian for the first couple weeks. And
Oh my
until you
God,
kind of get
yeah. I know.
I know, Leah.
Yeah.
I had pneumonia. I was out sick for a while. I couldn't even believe it.
Right. I had like a pounding headache, body aches, fever. I slept for like 3 days. I toast had COVID, I think. I don't know. So maybe we already all had it.
You know what? We should all go give
But we
blood.
could get it again, I guess.
We could go give blood and find out if we have the antibodies. I know a local teacher actually who had it, and she's still months. I mean, she had it back in March. She still has antibodies.
She still has antibodies? Oh, interesting.
I want to go give it and just be like, oh, I would still do everything, but it would kind of give me this little sense of, okay,
Yeah.
I still got that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Although I guess it doesn't mean anything if you have the antibodies, but I don't know. I think we're all just trying to figure it out. I don't think anybody knows anything.
We're hoping. We don't know.
Yeah. I am excited for them to go back though, for sure.
I think we should have a party. Let's go off-roading out to Sandy Neck and bring a cooler for the day.
Yeah.
Maybe right after parent drop-off, and we'll just go sit out there, just the moms. Who wants to come with us? You need to right now on the post or comment and tell us if you want to come. I will literally pick
we
you
need
up.
Some campers though. Anyone out there have an RV that we can like park and then we can grill out?
Yes, who has an RV?
We totally need one. Maybe
Yes,
the Airstream Park will let us have a party. Perf.
Yes. It'll be a mom party, back to school mom party.
Wait, but that's like total COVID. We'll get like busted and in trouble.
No, it's out in the fresh air, and as long as we space ourselves apart with our chairs, which we can totally do.
That's true.
You can bring your own float. You know, I've got a boat with an anchor. You can float.
Wait, when I went to Sandy Neck, though, not to like deter people from going, though, my kids wouldn't go in the water because there's that ginormous shark sign there. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's like a huge sign with like jaws on it. And it's like swim at your own risk. Like my kids literally would not go in. They were like playing in like
this year.
The little puddles there, and they're like, "Is that the shark beach?" If I suggest we go there. So I don't know. I mean, Camp Alex is looking a little safer with the baby pool. If everyone wants to come over here, hey, we should have a mom party here too. Yes, exactly, Jacqueline. Mom party.
You have the big backyard. We can socially distance with our chairs.
I do actually have a huge backyard. That I mow myself, by the way, people. I just went and got a new mower. Just call it, yeah. Okay. We're gonna protest. We're gonna protest remote schooling. I don't want to have remote anymore.
Or let's just protest COVID. We're done with COVID. Okay, we're protesting COVID.
I'm Oves Coves. Wait, maybe we should make T-shirts that say that.
Yes. Where's
Ovid COVID? No.
COVID. It's kind of like, lilies. We could even come up with a new design. Did you see these, by the way?
Oh, no, that's awesome.
This was from a local middle schooler who designed these to help make money this summer. Isn't that super cute?
Wait, like money for himself or the school? Or?
No, for herself, but she donated a bunch to me to give out as prizes.
That's awesome.
I loved it. I loved
those too. People are becoming more innovative, like as we get laid off and stuff too, about like, always being a mom, you have to be innovative of ways to make money that you can stay home. like making t-shirts, or I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, but there's not that many options actually. But then how do you go get a job if your kid's still at home,
Okay.
schooling? Yeah. I feel like it's a reversion back to like the preschool days when you would drop them off for like 3 hours, run to CVS, go to the bathroom, and then pick them back up. Like that's all you did.
Remember those years? Those sucked.
Yeah, there were like 3-hour time slots, and then
you're like, I got nothing done.
Yeah. I'm like, I went to the pharmacy and I ate like a scone, and now I'm back.
Yeah, you couldn't even keep them for nap time. I mean, are you kidding?
I know. I think I did extended day lunch like a couple times, but then I felt like the bad parent, even making him stay for lunch. But like now, like I'd have him sleep over.
Yeah, you're like, bye. See, that's what I actually said that. I said that to one of our teachers at North. I said, listen, I think it's just going to be, they've learned some new things. And since we've done the job for 6 months, how about boarding school? Off, you give them back in another 6, okay?
I know, right?
We'll call it even.
I think everybody needs a break for sure.
Oh my gosh. Let's pull a winner really quick as we're wrapping down for our comments. And our winner is going to receive a $25 gift card to the 1856 country store. And have you ever been there, by the way?
Yeah, I love it. It's so good.
They have those benches out front.
Yeah, the Republican Democrat.
We should go over there and take a fun picture one day.
Which seat are you going to sit at?
Maybe we should make our own right in the middle.
Yeah. How about undecided?
Yeah. We're making a new party.
Yeah.
So our winner tonight is going. Oh, Megan Stimpson is our winner of the $25 gift card. Congratulations, Megan.
Thanks for the
get that to you. It's so exciting. What else? Do you have anything else you want to share? Any gems, any stories, etc. Before we start to wrap up?
Not really. I feel like nothing really. I mean, the baby and I are just gonna kind of hang out for the rest of the night. No, I don't really have any other gems, but there are a lot of gems on my blog, morningmom.org.
Let me pull that back up here.
Yeah.
It's morningmom.org.
Yeah. And if you go on it, it's particularly on your smartphone, if you go down to the bottom on the right there, you can click something called follow. And if you enter your email, you can get it right in your inbox whenever I post, which is great. And I need followers. So if people could follow me, that'd be great, because that helps me get my book published, because I can prove to the agents that I have X number of followers, so they'll all buy my book. So the more followers I have, the better. That would be so awesome if you could do that for me. Follow my blog, please.
So everybody go to morningmom.org. Give Alex a follow. We're going to be having her back as a guest probably pretty regularly. She's a lot of fun. She brings some humor. And we got to balance our serious educational type topics with a little bit of fun, humor, and real life stories, because and she's great for that. So
thanks, Amy. Thanks
you have
for
no
having
problem.
me. I'm really flattered. And I appreciate everybody writing in.
Yeah, I mean, you're very honest, and I appreciate that about you, because you're honest and you approach it with humor. And it's a great conversation, because again, you're not the only one that's going through that. Many of us are experiencing a lot of the same stuff. And you were asked about parenting advice earlier, and you gave some great advice. And I would add, approach it with humor. Like it's not going to be like this forever. Even on a hard day, it's one snippet of a moment in time in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And it'll pass. And someday they're not going to be in your house, and you're going to miss them, and you're going to miss the hustle and the bustle. And we may even someday miss remote learning.
Yeah. Well, we'll miss them. They always drink that White Claw. They always say, like, it passes, like you'll see adults in the grocery store when you have a toddler, and they'll be like, oh, it goes so quickly. And you're like, really? Because it feels like molasses. It's the most, like, lugubrious amount of time ever. But it does, I guess, go a little fast. I still feel like it's been going a little slow, just going to be honest. But I think once they reach a certain age, I guess it does go really fast. Although they need me less and less now. And sometimes I'll be like, go upstairs and I'll be like, wait, why aren't you playing with me anymore? You know, like now I'm the needy one. And I'll ask them like really, probably like not good questions. Like, do you still love me? Like horribly needy things that like most
Are
parents
you
shouldn't
sure?
ask. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be like the parent advisor, but yeah, I am fun.
You are fun, and you keep it real, and that's what's important. Um, let's see here. Megan's is giving you a little clap, thanking
Oh,
you, and Jacqueline says, "Great job, Alex. Love you, Mama."
thank you. Love you
We will
too.
we will definitely have Alex back. We're going to try and do some live streaming from some fun places if they'll let us
Yeah.
come in and bring our wine and homemade White Claws.
Let us know if you want us to come into your own home and televise. We can do field trips.
Yes.
Oh my God, like Bachelor. Remember when they go to like various places, like a frat house or something, and like televise from
Oh, I
there?
like that idea.
Yeah,
Listen, as soon as we can do this, let's do it. I mean, let's go sit at the Cape Cod Winery.
I know. That place is, they've done such a great job with it.
They really have.
Thanks,
Nicole,
Nicole. Yay.
so thank you everybody so much for tuning in and joining Alex and I this evening. She's a fabulous guest. I'm going to have her back again. She's just a lot of fun. Congratulations to Megan who won a prize. Next week we have Merrill Reed coming on of Merrill's Art and Musics. If you haven't heard about her, she's had some businesses here on the Cape for a long time now and does music education. And she's going to be talking about music education you can do in your home, if you are remote schooling, how to incorporate it. If you are actually sending your kids to school, because specials are going to look different in a lot of schools. They get 8 weeks of a block schedule. So like our kids get 8 weeks of library at first. They won't even have art till April. So she's going to be talking about how to incorporate it into your regular day. I'm a big music fan, play music all the time. So she's going to be an exciting guest. And we're hoping to have Alex on again. So thank you, everybody. Any last words, Alex, tonight?
Keep on keeping on.
Oh,
Yeah, no, thank you so much for everybody who wrote in and who watched. Thank you, Amy, so much for having me. It's super flattering. Stay tuned for my book. It's going to be awesome. And definitely follow my blog, morningmom.org.
absolutely. We'll have Alex back on closer to when the book releases. Go to morningmom.org. Follow her so we can get that book published sooner.
Yeah.
We want to hear some of those racy scenes because there's been no raciness happening. I don't know in your house, but not in mine. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Alex, hang tight as I go off.
Thank you.
We'll see you all later. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for watching, everyone.